Hello friends and welcome back to Picture Astrology. In today's video we will learn about placement of Saturn in the sign of Capricorn for Taurus Ascendant horoscope. So when the Ascendant is Taurus, which is the second sign of the zodiac, then the Capricorn sign falls in the 9th house. So this video is also about Saturn in 9th house for Taurus Ascendant or Taurus rising. So we have a horoscope in which the second sign or the sign of Taurus is rising, which means Taurus is the first house of this horoscope. And when this happens, we know that Saturn is lord of two signs, Capricorn and Aquarius. And these two houses are the house number 9 and 10th. So Saturn becomes simultaneous lord of two houses, 9th and 10th. 9th is a trine house and 10th is a cardinal or Kendra house. And when this happens, Saturn becomes a big time yoga karaka for the Taurus Ascendant. It is a single planet which can give Raj Yoga in a Taurus Ascendant horoscope. So generally, Saturn is known as a natural malefic. Naturally, this planet is not a benefic one. But because of the lordship of 9th and 10th, it becomes a first-rate benefic for Taurus Ascendant. And the placement of this Saturn anywhere in the horoscope, in any houses or planets this Saturn affects, can give very auspicious results. Now, this particular placement is especially lucky because Saturn is in its own sign. Capricorn is the own sign of Saturn. So we have a Raj Yoga Karaka planet very strongly placed in a auspicious 9th house in its own sign. So overall, this one single placement in a Taurus Ascendant horoscope can not only give a Raj Yoga but makes the horoscope a very powerful one. One of the first thing as an astrologer, when I look at the chart, the first thing to interpret is how strong or weak a horoscope is. And if you get a chart like this, in which Saturn is placed in Capricorn itself in 9th house, it is one of the big factor which makes for a strong horoscope. Not just strong, but also very lucky in various ways in life. So we saw that this is a very lucky placement. But now see what all areas of life this one Saturn is going to impact. See, obviously 9th house and 10th house, because Saturn is lord of both the houses. Saturn has special aspect in Vedic astrology. Saturn will aspect 3rd house from itself, which in this case will be 11th house of your gains, of your friends, social circle. Saturn will also aspect your 3rd house from the 7th aspect. So 3rd house shows your courage, your initiative taking abilities, the way you think, your relationship with your brothers, and so many other things. And Saturn also has an aspect on the 10th house from itself, which in this case will be the 6th house. 6th house though is one of the negative houses in horoscope, which generally shows your adversaries, the obstacle you will face in life, or the kind of debts you will have to repay. But this aspect of Saturn being a natural malefic but functional benefic on the 6th house will give you many good results related to 6th house as well. So you see, just one placement of Saturn can affect multiple areas of life, and overall the effects of this Saturn is going to be very lucky one. And in next few minutes we will see some specific results which you can interpret regarding these houses which Saturn impacts. So let's first talk about the 9th house. It is the house of your fortune or luck. Now, one thing Vedic astrology, the first thing which is referred as fortunate is, the biggest fortune is being born in a family of high ethical and moral values. That is defined as one of the biggest fortune, and it is something which you can only get through luck. There is nothing you can do about the family or parents to which you have born into. So when you have this Saturn here, generally it shows that the family is sort of very traditional one. See, Saturn as well as the sign of Capricorn both shows traditional values. And ninth house is the house of your traditions, your spirituality, your religious rituals. So, and ninth house also shows the lineage, the elders in the family, your grandparents, your paternal grandparents, and your paternal lineage by extension. So what this Saturn basically gives you is generally birth in a family which values traditions a lot. Needless to say that the ethical and moral values are also respected a lot in the family. And many times you will find that the person is born in rather old or ancestral home, which is being used for many generations in their family. And not just the birth, you would find that the person spends at least the childhood surrounded by the elders of the family, and he gets guidance, almost throughout the life. He gets benefit from the guidance of elder people at home, who sort of act as a guiding principle, or some old people or some elders in the family are always there to help such people for anything in life. And they also have a great respect for their family and traditions at the same time. Many times you would find that these family have some kind of written records also of their ancestry. So, even in Eastern cultures, I have seen people who have records of 7 or 8 generations with this kind of placement. They know the names, not just the names, but what they used to do, what were their professions, etc. And they value that lineage or that attachment towards family a lot. And they also have many old things at home, which are reminiscent of the ancestors of the family, and they generally take good care of it and pass it on to their kids as well. So overall, from the personality perspective, this is a lucky position which kind of makes a person follow the path of dharma or traditional dharma. And dharma is something which is defined as things you should do, things which are right to do for yourself and also for the society. It is not just some religious rituals, etc. But these people would also follow the religious rituals or traditions to the T because of this Saturn. And apart from that, they will also perform their duties towards themselves, towards family, towards society with utmost honesty. So this is one placement, which kind of guarantees that throughout the life of the person, he would follow a righteous path. Unless obviously, there are some extremely difficult or malefic placement otherwise in the horoscope. But, in most cases, you can easily conclude that the person will have an upright behavior because of this Saturn here. Now, this Saturn is going to have a simultaneous effect on the 10th house of your work and 11th house of your gains, because Saturn has aspect on the 11th house. So what this basically shows is that in your work life, again, you will follow all the ethics. I'm not going to go too much into the details, but people with this placement can do more than one business. They can many times start with either job or help their parents in their family business and then expand into other areas and start their own different businesses. And they can get from multiple sources at the same time. They make a lot of friendship. The aspect of Saturn on the 11th house of friends and social circle gives them a lot of visibility in the world, and their friendship also lasts long. The aspect of Saturn makes sure that they have honest relationship and long relationship at the same time. And in terms of work areas, that basically depends on other aspect on the 10th house. But as I said, this Saturn here definitely supports multiple business activities. It could be job plus business. It could even be some professional. Also, they have great respect for law. Law enforcement is also a great possibility if Mars is in a great position with this horoscope. But it definitely shows good success in job and business and gains from multiple sources. Now let's quickly talk about the aspect on the third house. There are many great things with respect to brothers and sisters about this Saturn, but I will talk about something which is not very well known, and that is that third house is the house where your mental abilities begin. You start to think. First house is the house of your birth, very early childhood. Second house is when you start eating food, walking, doing emotional activities, start expressing yourself emotionally. And third house is the place where you start your expression through mental faculties. You start speaking, you start thinking, and so on. So third house has a great effect on the way you take action in the world. It is called the house of courage in Vedic astrology, which basically means how quick you are going to take actions in the world and how many different kind of work you can do. It has great implication in conjunction with the 10th house on your work. So what basically happens is this Saturn having a direct aspect on the third house gives them a like a very thoughtful personality. They would think before they act. They will not be reckless actors. And at the same time, their mental thought process will also be driven or directed by proper ethics. It is the Saturn Lord of 9th and 10th house. So they would be able to make clear decisions regarding their personal life as well as their professional life, but they will not be very quick to act in many situations in life. And this one aspect can have many impacts. Like, they will be slow to commit to a new business venture. They will start multiple business venture, but only after giving enough thought. They will be, cautious to perform new partnerships. They will be thinking twice, thrice before committing to new relationship and so on. It has, many big implications on the way person lives his life, but mostly it is all lucky position. So friends, I hope you like my quick analysis of Saturn in Capricorn for the Taurus Ascendant, which is the Saturn in the 9th house. Please do like and subscribe to my channel to continue to receive more such videos. Thank you so much for watching so far, and I hope to see you again soon.